everyone, it's Nolan. Let's have a look at some of my charts of interest this week. And they're mainly dollar related, US dollar, to be honest with you. Just looking at the US dollar on the monthly. Obviously, we've still got 9 days. 9 days and 7 hours before the close of the monthly candle. But we do have our resistance here, rising resistance. And potentially we could be forming an evening star pattern here, 3 candlestick pattern, which can often let us know of selling momentum coming into the market. And we would look for that at resistance, whether it be horizontal resistance, trend line, moving averages, etc., etc., some form of resistance. So this does look of interest for potentially some downside. However, let's just have a little look at smaller time frames. We can see price today and on Friday has started to pull back a little. So obviously we've had this big weekly move here and we're starting to see a correction of it. So maybe some dollar strength this week, or for the first part of the week, maybe, as we correct this big move here. Now, if I just have a little look at the daily, we do have this 108 here, which was a support level here, which we are approaching. So that might form some form of resistance. Now, if we go back a little further here, look, we've got 109. So 109, 108 are interesting levels. Just looking at the weekly though, let's just draw a fib on the weekly, and we can see that let's put the daily back on. That 61.8% retracement is round about where this tip of the wick is here. Let me just make sure I've drawn that correctly. I want to get it spot on pretty much. Yeah, so 109.36. I do like a 60. I like a 50% retracement or a 61.8. But yeah, I like the idea of price popping up into either 61.8% retracement or this 109 where we saw resistance here back in July 22. Now, if you look at the 4-hour. You can see 107 was an area here of resistance, and we've broken free now. So what could happen is we actually come back to test that level there, and then we see that move potentially up to 109. Okay, so that's what I'd like to see. Retest of this zone here, around about 107, rejection, and then a push up to 109, then potentially we could see price start to move down again. So yeah, tomorrow, obviously today's been bullish. Tomorrow, maybe some weakness on the dollar, back to 107, then looking for more buyers to come in, taking it up to 109. That's my kind of forecast for the US dollar. So Aussie is one of my charts of interest. Now, I do like the idea of this neckline to this inverse head and shoulder pattern to be tested. Obviously, we might then break lower. We might bounce. This inverse head and shoulders pattern may be a reversal, and we may see this go for a bit of a bigger move to the upside. We don't know. We need to see. We need to kind of forecast. Okay, well, what could potentially happen? What looks like it's going to happen? And then we monitor price at when it gets to those levels of interest. So my level of interest basically is this neckline here, and I do see Aussie dollar gravitating towards this zone. And if that bigger picture on the dollar does play out, where we see a monthly evening star pattern, then we could see Aussie USD have a bullish move to the upside. But yeah, first things first, I want to see price come into the neckline, and I want to see how price reacts there. So we're talking about 65,000 would be a nice area to look for price to push into. Now, we broke the weekly low earlier. So last week's low here we have broken. So the momentum to the downside is certainly there. So we can see the move down, the correction, move down. Looking for, you know, that dollar index, like I say, to have a retrace and retest 107. So I'd be looking for Aussie USD to have a retracement as well. And then the push down towards our neckline here. I just want to have a little look actually. Okay, so if I just fib from the high to the low here, we came back to a 50% retracement, had an evening star pattern, and we've hit the minus 27% here. Okay, so yeah, and then I'll be looking for further targets of the minus 61.8, but potentially all the way down to 65. So we could see some bounce here, like I say, if we do see that little bit of a retracement to 107 on the dollar. So I'd be looking for Aussie USD to have a bit of a rally, a bit of a bullish move, but then I'll be looking for a sell, to be honest with you. So cross-reference this with the dollar index coming into 107. When it gets to 107 and we potentially see buyers come in on the dollar, then we should be looking to sell Aussie USD in theory. Wait for the price action though. Test of the weekly low, possibly at 66.40. That could be your sell signal if we see a rejection here. Or alternatively, you know, if we get a bullish candle coming into this level on the 4 hour, you could quite easily place a sell stop underneath that bullish candle, anticipating that price is going to reverse in this level. So potentially some upside coming up on Aussie, but I look at that as a short-term relief rally before we see that selling momentum come in. And I also like gold as well. I was going to keep today all about the Forex, but I do like gold. Now I see gold coming to test these highs here. This broken resistance level, which is broken and hasn't been retested. So that looks good, coming back into this zone. Now we were looking for 1756 to be tested and rejected today, but we didn't see the retest. So I'll show you why we were looking at that level. You can see here this interaction with the level here where we find support. This was last week. And on Friday we broke through. You can see we've continued to push down, but we didn't come back and test the level. So you can just see I've got my alert set there just underneath the level. So if we come back into 1756, you know, with gold it could just be a very, very quick spike up into the market and then reject. So because I'm looking for that short-term selling coming in on the dollar to 107, we might see gold push up and test 1756. So options are to set an alert and look for a rejection. Alternatively, you might want to sell limit, decide where you want to put your stop loss, whether you want to put it above this swing high, whether you want to put it above the high here. You know, there's a few different places. Obviously, in theory, the best thing to do is to set your alert and look for a rejection. If I'm honest with you, but you're going to get your best kind of bang for your buck unless you place a sell limit with a very, you know, smallish stop loss, and it does actually just come into the level and literally reject straight away, and then that'll be absolutely perfect for you. But have a little think. Alert at 1756, sell limit at 1756, and if you do that, where are you going to put your stop loss? You know, how conservative are you going to go? If you put it up there, then potentially you've got an inverse reward to risk as well. So, you know, have a little think about that. But yeah, so summarize, dollar index looks like we could, well, I would like to see that it retest 107, have a little push up and then head towards 109. Aussie, little pullback, maybe test the weekly low last week, which we've broken. So price to come back, correlate it with the dollar index as well. And gold, you can also correlate with the dollar index. Looking for some relief rally on this. 1756 would be brilliant, and a rejection there. Looking for shorts then into previous resistance here, which may now become support, but we will see. Hope all that makes sense, and yeah, please give us a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, share the video as well if you know any like-minded traders, and we will catch you in the next video. And yeah, let's have a great week. See you later, guys. Bye.